welcome everybody live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on AchieveRadio.com. Can you believe it, people? Among other things, in the incredible depth of her talent, her ability, her wisdom, her foresight, her visionary prowess, her commitment to stay the line, to not capitulate. Among all those talents is this other talent called teacher. And Dr. Carolyn Dean is an amazing teacher, ladies and gentlemen. She's taught me so much. She never ceases to amaze me. And she's teaching our radio audience so much week by week, line upon line, precept upon precept, how to build your health, restore your health, starting with the basic building blocks that she refers to in her formulas, and then building on that with great nutrition, good movement, solid, common sense, very easy to apply decisions for every level and layer of health challenge. And I'm so excited. Well, you know what? I'm excited every week to work with Dr. Dean because she's totally amazing. And Dr. Dean has got so many tricks in her bag to keep everybody happy, healthy. Carolyn is amazing. She's a doctor. She's a naturopath. She's an herbalist. She's an acupuncturist. She's an architect. She's a florist. She is a artist and a designer of every single kind. She's amazing fashion statement all the time. She's so fun. She's proactive. She's compassionate. She's a huge visionary leader. Her vision for health and changing the context of health in this country and around the world is absolutely amazing, and she's totally up to the task. But I'll tell you one thing. I mean, there are so many things this woman can do. She's incredible. But one thing she will not do on her radio show is give medical advice. Nope. She just won't do it. She is going to tell you exactly what she would do if she were you. And we're so excited to have you with us this evening, which promises to be just another incredible blockbuster presentation by Dr. Carolyn Dean about a subject that everybody knows and cares about, and that is your health. Great information that is going to empower you, it's going to inspire you, and it's going to keep you on the leading edge of creation along with our very own Dr. Carolyn Dean, who is leading the charge on so many fronts to keep us all healthy. Oh, yeah, a lot of people will talk about it, but not a lot of people actually know much about it. But fortunately for us, Dr. Carolyn Dean knows everything about it. And I'm not exaggerating. You know, she just knows about everything there is to know about your health. And you know why she knows that? Because she knows at a cellular level, biologically, what is required. She knows at an emotional level, biologically what's required. She knows at a mental level what is required for health, vitality, and well-being. She knows at a structural level what is required, and she provides it all to you in the form of her health wisdom, her information, all of her formulas, homeopathy. I mean, she can talk about everything, ladies and gentlemen. Herbs, she can talk about acupuncture. She's done it all. She's seen it all. She's watched the trends. She's seen the fads. You're going to be inspired in a way that you've never been inspired. Dr. Carolyn Dean is the most prolific, profound, and powerful inspirer, innovator, and sayer of so many wonderful things about our bodies, the perfection they're in, and how they will function if you give them those essential building blocks, one of which being magnesium. And it's so sweet because I heard somebody said to me the other day, well, you know, a lot of times when I listen to Carolyn, it just seems like what she says over and over again is take Remag. And we're like, yes. And of course, the person who's figured this out and is declaring this in such a broad and powerful way is Dr. Dean. Here we go now. Wellness with Dr. Dean. Absolutely, positively true statement, people. Amazing Dr. Dean has whipped up out of the treasury of her wisdom and her care, her compassion, her concern, and her expertise, which cannot be underestimated, let me tell you. And you know what they say, that the heart of the matter is the matter of the heart. And I cannot think of a person who has ascribed more time to helping people's hearts than Dr. Carolyn Dean. 50 years, ladies and gentlemen, 50 years in the medical field with natural medicine and with allopathic medicine. And she has carved out a place for herself herself in history as one of the leaders, most insightful people on how to use nutritional medicine to the advantage of the body from child to elderly. And I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, that the news just keeps getting better and better and better. Dr. Carolyn Dean, being the author of The Magnesium Miracle, herself a doctor and a researcher, a person of great integrity, a naturopath, a person who's done every single kind of therapy that you can possibly even imagine, has really come to the forefront of natural medicine and also the medical community of allopathic medicine by making her declaration of the demand for magnesium, the need for magnesium awareness, and even the need to use a specific kind of magnesium that is going to be fully absorbed and offer therapeutic benefits. She can talk about your body, she can talk about your mind, she can talk about your heart, she can talk about your head, she can talk about everything, and she can make a huge difference in your life as you listen to her words of wisdom. One might say, why does somebody actually get the privilege of being the only and most exclusive expert on the entire and full counsel of medicine? Why would that happen to a person? Well, it could happen because this person that I'm referencing, Dr. Carolyn Dean, has a 50-year history of being right about pretty much everything. And what's she right about? She's right about the body, and she's right about its basic perfection. She's right about the integrity of the body and nature. She's right about pharmaca, about the plant life, about the herb, about the world, and about how that goes into the body to sustain and to bring life forward. She's right about food and nutrition. Even back in the early 90s, warning against the danger of too much sugar, too much processed sugar in the diet. She is right about minerals. She's right about magnesium, having written the book herself. And she's right about the body-mind connection, how it works. And she's right about what happens when conflicts come in and create biological reactions within the body and how to deal with those psychologically, emotionally, and also practically through alternatives like energy and all that stuff. That's a lot to be right about, but you know, she's been right about it for a long time, and because of that, millions of people all over the world tune into her formulas and what she offers, and she's here again tonight to be that beacon of hope, that beacon of wisdom, and that absolutely imperatively right person, right doctor in the whole wide world, hailed as one of the most insightful and ahead of her time doctors by her peers. Dr. Carolyn Dean is light years ahead of time when it comes to the crucial mineral of magnesium and other natural therapies to protect and preserve your health. And we know she's ahead of time because she is the doctor of the future, having been way ahead of her time for many, many years, and now just touching down in her time machine on this very day with us to bring us up to date on what's happening in the world of health, and also to shed light and bring new information on topics of concern. The most important thing is you are tuning in to the most important information on the planet right now, I would have to say, and also turning into one of the most amazing, tuned in herself, cosmic doctors ever in the history of the whole wide world, Dr. Carolyn Dean, who is the doctor of the future. But I'm adding a title tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I am saying that not only is she the doctor of the future, but she is the doctor of all conscious life. And here we are, we're joyful, we're vibrant, we're alive, we're happy. And mostly that is because, let me say two things. First of all, it is our will, but is combined with the very incredible wisdom, the power, and the intent of our very own Dr. Carolyn Dean, who years and years and years ago set out on an expedition to be a doctor, and not just any doctor, not just a person who would give you pills or give you surgery and tell you certain things and even make you more sick. No, she set out to be a doctor of a unique and most epic kind, a doctor who would actually be a doctor of wellness, a doctor of power, a doctor of joy, and a doctor that would respect and respond the intelligence of the body and the intelligence of nature. And that's what we have on our hands today. Not only is she a great doctor, not only is she a great naturopath and a tremendous person, a herbalist and all these things, but you know what I discovered about her today is she is also an engineer, a designer of mechanisms, a designer of formulas, a designer of systems that give the body enablements, that enable the mind, that enable the heart to perform, to recover, and to be highly, highly successful. So today, and of course, having that incredible scientific mind, an engineer, Dr. Imagine, in one person, a scientist in one person, and then combine that with this incredible mind of compassion, of heart, of just, and so sincere, and rugged, durable. Can you believe it, people? Golly gosh, gall darn, it's an amazing day here in Dobbstown, Iandom, Dr. Dean's world, the world in which we radiate and escalate all possibilities on behalf of all mankind through the glorious work of Dr. Carolyn Dean. My gosh, so many wonderful and good things happening. Where does radiant health come from? It comes from the cell. It all starts with a single cell, ladies and gentlemen, just like we all started as little single-cell people and grew up into big, big, big trillion and trillions of cells. Well, health starts at a cellular level, and that's where Dr. Dean put her focus, at a cellular level, and developed formulas, developed her protocols, developed her teaching, her awareness, her information around letting people know that if you get it right at a cellular level, you can have it right everywhere in the body. Not only is she just an amazing woman, and she is an amazing woman, ladies and gentlemen. She's a medical doctor. She's a naturopath. She's an author. She has written over 35 books. And you know what? What is what people say about her books? I can understand them. She writes very clear, precise, grammatically correct, well-organized, thoughtful presentations about complex subjects like the body and complex things like science and medicine. And she breaks them down in such a way that you can understand them. And not only that, but when people get done reading her books, they say things like, gee, I've been doing such and such for such a long time. I've been on this kind of pill. I've been doing that kind of regimen. I've been taking this kind of drug. I've been following this kind of health program. And until I read the Magnesium Miracle, for an example, I didn't know what was wrong with me. But now that I've spent a few minutes reading this book, I have learned clearly my magnesium deficiency is at the center of my health. And now I know from Dr. Dean that if I correct that, I'm going to be correcting a lot of stuff. That's what she does. She breaks it down. She makes it simple. She writes her books. She makes her presentation. She makes her products affordable and easy access. And then she makes herself available on radio shows like today, every Monday. And she shares her wealth of wisdom and information with us all. Everybody knows and loves Dr. Carolyn Dean, and we know how extraordinary she is out there on the leading edge of creation, doing so much for so many people. She's been part of the health freedom movement. Lord, she practically is the health freedom movement. Taking a stand for supplements, for nutrition, for natural health, for consumers, for their advocacy, writing Death by Modern Medicine 12 years ago before anybody even really thought about androgenetic death. So many things she's done. So you're here to listen to the words, wisdom, wit, and just amazing resonance and oscillation of our very own Dr. Carolyn Dean. When you think of her, think of a woman like with her eyes, kind of looking out over the horizon. You know how a person has their hand up, looking out, shielding themselves from the sun, squinching to see what is out in the future. And Dr. Dean has remarkable vision this way, ladies and gentlemen, because she has consistently known over her many, many years in medicine what is in the future. And she's not a person who's into gimmicks, fads, or anything else like that. She's into biological accuracy, biologically complete formulas that support the body, safe, natural ways to heal and give your body what it needs so it can be optimal performance. And she herself, being an optimal performer, would know what that's about and how to get that done. One and all around the world are tuning in tonight to hear the wonderful wisdom of Dr. Dean, along with her incredible wit, smiling, captivating, charming, charismatic personality, and all of her wonderful medical advice that she dispenses on a weekly basis. And of course, the reason she would know what to do is because she's been doing it for 50 years, using her skills as a doctor and also her wisdom and her training as a naturopath to use nutrition, nutrients, exercise, fresh air, all the good stuff, laughter, to boost the body, for the structure and function of the body, and to enable people to live an empowered and powerful, healthy life. We're going to be taking a break in August, so Dr. Dean can take her little rambunctious self and go all over the planet once again for mankind, doing her thing. We're so happy that she ventures out and does these extraordinary outreaches and makes herself available for video production and all kinds of other cool stuff. She has a very unique and crafty way of putting things down on paper in a way that people understand it. She breaks it down. She makes it simple. And she is very precise in her words and how she articulates herself, and so that makes it easy to grasp too. And she's not trying to dazzle people and overwhelm them with her intellect and complexify things. She's just very straightforward and very practical. It's like, this is what you need, and this is why, and this is what you should do. And so we love that about her. Of course, the book that she's most well known for is The Magnesium Miracle. Among many others, Hormone Balance for Women is another incredible book. And of course, Death by Modern Medicine, her landmark work, looking at and examining the death through people, devices and drugs and doctors, the 3 Ds, devices, drugs, doctors, death, decay, decline. I don't know. They're all mixed up in there somewhere. But anyway, Dr. Dean, with her capital D, wades through all of that and makes some suggestions about how you can avoid that trap and take yourself into your own advanced and ascended bliss. We will be tripping the light fantastic, all things natural and healthy and wise and wonderful and perfect and amazing that Dr. Dean knows and or has developed herself and generously shares with the entire world, literally the entire world, ladies and gentlemen, and is just so gracious to pour herself out with us again. Dr. Carolyn Dean has been light years ahead of her time when it comes to the crucial mineral magnesium and its many life-saving uses. Her work is a gift to humanity. And you know what? It really honestly is. Her work is a gift to humanity. She's incredible with the metaphysical world. She is sharp as a tack. And she has developed, not only written her own thesis about how to work with magnesium mineral deficiency and also yeast overgrowth, but she's also created her own products to bring that level of therapeutic outcome to her satisfaction. And those results are reported every single week through our customer service. Really, she's invested in all this, and yet she doesn't look like she's been doing it for 50. I can tell you that much. But she's invested so much of her own life in really vetting all these things out so she could drill it down to something very simple for you. Dr. Carolyn Dean is quite amazing, eternal person who's here once again just to give us the inspiration that we need and the information that we need so we can take care of our bodies, our minds, and our spirits and prosper and flourish and just thrive. It's incredible. The years just fly by. But there's one thing that stays the same in consistency, in the same place, day in and day out for the last just unbelievable amount of time, 35, 40 years. That is Dr. Carolyn Dean. Not that she's never gone anywhere or done anything. It's just that she's always so ahead of her time. She arrives before she even leaves. And that's saying a lot when it comes to medicine, because Dr. Carolyn Dean has arrived on the leading edge of creation with the most extraordinary protocols formulas to give the body the building blocks it needs to balance the body to achieve homeostasis so that wellness and optimal living can occur. And she's done it her whole career, and yet here she is at this very timely moment in our world when we have so many environmental toxins, we have so many health challenges, we have so much Dr. Google misinformation out there, and there's Dr. Dean at the helm of the wellness ship, the SS Wellness, steering her crew and her people straight for glory, straight for joy, straight for power, straight for health, vitality, and well-being. And she does it because of her incredible wisdom, she does it because of her incredible passion, and she does it because she is freaking smart, people. I mean, this lady is smart like you cannot even imagine. I work with her every day, and she blows me away practically every single day. She's sharp as a tack. She knows what she's talking about. And what's even more amazing is she's going to pick up the phone for 2 hours on a Monday evening and sit down and talk with you about what's on her heart, what she's thinking and considering about the world of health and what's in the media and what's going on today. And she's going to talk with you one-on-one over the phone as your desire is to reach out and talk to her. She's going to answer your questions through the email bag, and she's going to give you as much of herself as she's got, no holding back for the next 2 hours. And of course, our fearless leader, the most extraordinary woman and medical doctor who still has not run out of compassion after years and years of doing this, of hearing every story about, their body's not operating properly, has seen every picture you can possibly see of diseased body parts, is still here Monday evening once again, and she's willing to talk. She's willing to say, hey, guess what? I have an idea for you. How about trying something different? How about doing some of the things that I'm recommending, and how about doing them consistently? And how about, let's say, we get you winning at what you want and enjoying your body and enjoying your life again, enjoying your mind, and really, really enjoying this life that we all live in. She has done some crazy stuff trying to figure out what works for her. I'll tell you somebody who's not stressed out, and that is our very own Dr. Carolyn Dean. This woman, most fantastic in the whole wide world, is on a plane and a level of her own, gliding through life with ease and grace and able to really, truly dispense her wisdom in such a generous way. Not only does she make an impact on our listening audience and our customers, her clients from previous years and all this other business, but she has impacted the medical profession in such a dramatic way. We don't talk about it much on the radio show. Dr. Dean, you know what I love about you. You're not just a doctor. You're an alchemist. You're an alchemist. Carolyn is an alchemist, and she passes her alchemical, her anointing, so to speak, to her customers and to her friends, to her peers, and encourages people to take the formulas that she's created, take the wisdom that she has, and alchemically use them to their benefit at a cellular level to improve and dramatically improve their quality of their life and their health. We know Carolyn's a doctor of epic proportions, as I pointed out, admired by her peers from around the world, and influencing medicine in such a tremendous way. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I am a first-hand witness to what this gal is up to, and it's pretty big stuff. I mean, it's big stuff. And it's just so cool to see somebody who is a doctor and an MD, less concerned about her reputation and her bank account and all these other kinds of things, and more concerned about public health and the public awareness of the dangers of magnesium and mineral deficiency. And not only is she concerned about it, but she's absolutely put herself smack dab in the middle of the most pivotal international connections there are to influence outcomes in the world of magnesium research and also in the public health world, as, again, not only just bringing education, but bringing solutions. What good does it do to tell somebody? How discouraging is it to tell somebody, oh, gosh, you've got this thing, but we don't know how to fix it? And Carolyn's not that kind of a person. Carolyn's like, oh, you got a thing? I got a solution. And she will not rest until it comes into its fruition, its full fruition. So she absolutely continues consistency day in and day out to bring forth the best of who she is and the best of what she knows how to do, which is a healer, a teacher, and a doctor to the public forum, so that other people can be learning and being relieved of their health considerations and their health concerns. She can even really probably get rid of your fear of dying by just telling you you're going to be living forever, and if you hang out with her long enough, you're going to believe that. We know that Dr. Dean has so much experience doing this, as she's been doing for so many years. Thank you, Dr. Dean. And we want you to hear the information that Dr. Dean has as a leader, as a thought leader, as one who is a pioneer in presenting magnesium, the importance of this mineral to the general community, the health community, the research community, and for being an advocate for this form of supplementation and mineral supplementation and natural health, and using all kinds of alternative methods to avoid unnecessary, notice my words, unnecessary drugs or surgeries. That is the stand that Dr. Dean has taken. That is the person that she is. That is the energy that she radiates and emanates everywhere she goes. That is her whole joie de vivre, as they would say in France. And she not only embodies it, but she inspires other people to attain it. Not only is Dr. Dean a medical doctor, yes, but a natural doctor, yes, but she's also an herbalist and an acupuncturist. She is an incredible nutritionist, herself maximizing her body's understanding and her awareness of nutrition. She's a lecturer, consultant, she's an author, inventor, and she's an entrepreneur. Not only did she write the book, but she solved the problem. Our one and only fearless leader, Dr. Carolyn Dean, and you can hear me smiling in my voice because in front of me I have a picture of her that she sent me a couple weeks ago, and I have to say that I'm looking at this picture of Carolyn. I swear she looks like she's in her 20s. She's so young, so vital, so alive, so powerful, and so joyful. It just amazes me every time I'm with her, and she really has mastered these possibilities of living very well, using nutrients as her medicine and using her own clarity of mind and her own wisdom to guide herself. And she's compiled for many, many people her formulas and her wisdom and her information, and she disseminates that all over the globe. And people come and hearken to her and listen to her words and take her advice and her suggestions, and they implement it in their own life, and they produce extraordinary results. But right now, she is in an incarnation of her life, elevating her game and stepping out and creating her formulas and putting these things together for the general public, and kind of, drawing a line in the sand and saying to people, hey, listen, you can have health, vitality, and well-being. The body is intelligent. It will perform if you give it the basic building blocks, and I've got those that I can share with you how to move forward. I just want to tell you a smidgen about her, and it is just a smidgen. I mean, there's just no way to really capture the essence of all that she is and all that she offers. I see it 365 days of the year. I see her reaching out through our email support and working with our customers. I see her as the advisor for the Nutritional Magnesium Association. I see her as a clinical researcher and a studier herself, constantly confronting allopathic medicine about their glaring lack of awareness of nutrients and minerals in working with health conditions. I see her as an incredible media force, doing so many interviews, ladies and gentlemen, giving so selflessly of her time in so many ways. I don't know how many interviews she does a week. Podcasts, summits, broadcasts, radio programs, constantly reaching out, YouTube videos, and saying over and over and over again, if you can solve your magnesium deficiency and flip it to a magnesium sufficiency, and she lays this out over and over again, and not only has she done this in all of her writings and her media appearances and her public statements, but she has also done it in her own product. She encouraged people to use magnesium for so long, she finally had to take matters into her own hands and come up with something that people could use. So she's absolutely relentless. She is absolutely tenacious, totally committed, and overly optimistic, according to her own words about herself. But I don't think she's overly optimistic because she has such great results, and she gets incredible feedback from all of her customers. I'll tell you, one thing great about Carolyn is she's ridden the wave of all the fads, all the fad diets, all the fad approaches, all the fad formulas, all the fad strategies, she's seen it all, ladies and gentlemen, and she has whittled everything down to some very simple, basic principles. She's done energy work. She's done everything you can imagine, physical activity, yoga, all kinds of great stuff. And then on top of that, she's an author, and she's written incredible international best-selling books, including The Magnesium Miracle, which is now in its third, edition, revision, but she's constantly updating it. And the last one is the most important one because it's got over 600 medical references in it and is her consummate thesis on why everything revolves around magnesium in the body and why it's so important for your vitality and well-being. One of the most extraordinary women on the planet, if I don't mind saying so myself, Dr. Dean is a champion of the individual taking responsibility for their health, knowing what feels good in their body, knowing what's going on in their mind, and looking for safe solutions and alternatives to drugs and surgeries, which always have side effects. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is the first time you've joined us this evening, then you will be listening to, for the very first time, maybe unless you heard her on another broadcast or a summit or maybe a YouTube, you'll be listening to Dr. Carolyn Dean. And I'll tell you, she is somebody definitely that you'll want to be listening for and to. She is a brilliant, brilliant businesswoman and the CEO of her own corporation. She is a fighter. She is tenacious, ladies and gentlemen. She is out on the leading edge of creation, taking a stand for your health, and has been for years and years and years, and paid the prices for it and never looked back, whether it was confronting the sugar industry in Canada, whether it's been dealing with the health freedom movement and advocating in that way, whether it's educating herself about the things that affect your health right now. She's always on top of things, always with her critical ear and all of her wisdom, listening and learning and looking out for those who come to her and ask her for that sage advice. And we are winning because of our very own Dr. Carolyn Dean, who is with us this evening to speak with us, to us, for us, through us for the next 2 hours and to talk about her approach to wellness. And she differs in her approach to wellness from most people and Dr. Dean's protocol, her advice, her wisdom is all geared to creating a simple, sustainable wellness protocol to alleviate the rampant nutritional deficiencies that are making people sick. This lady is good at everything she does, and I've witnessed it firsthand. She is good at everything she does. Her primary focus is not only doctoring people, but also using nature in its intended consequence as part of that healing process. But one of the advantages of really talking to Carolyn is she's seen it all, ladies and gentlemen. Honest to goodness, she has seen 50 years of the health and wellness industry parade right in front of her eyes. And what she's also seen is the intelligence of the human body never failing if it's being given the right building blocks. And that's what she relies on, not the intelligence of this crazy world we live in, but the intelligence of the human body to accompany itself with great building blocks and give us dynamic living. And not only is she a gift, but she is a gift giver. Here, once again, giving the gift of her time, her care, her concern, her compassion, her wisdom, and honestly, really her enlightenment about the human body and what it takes to actually have it high functioning in the 21st century. Dr. Carolyn Dean is on top of it, with a capital It. And not only is she on top of what we need in designing her own formulas and also the wisdom, but she's also in very certain about what we don't need. And we're so happy that you've joined us once again to get as much information as you can and as many good vibes and as much just the homeopathic resonance as you can from our very own Dr. Carolyn Dean. She is one of the most concerned, committed, straightforward, integrous people I know, and her vision is just pinpoint accurate, and she's non-wavering in her commitment and her willingness to take risks in order to prove her point. And her point is that the body is perfect, and when you give it a handful of building blocks, it will heal itself. The intelligent design of the body, ladies and gentlemen, and the perfection therein, and its compatibility with this biosphere and its willingness to live eternally, its impulse for life. That's what Dr. Carolyn Dean has known for 50 years, and she has not changed nor wavered, and she's not going to start now. I can guarantee you, because she has got the tiger by the tail, and she knows what she's doing, and she is succeeding in bringing relief and prosperity and just in tremendous health to so many people, and vitality and well-being through her formulas and her intellect, her insight, her wisdom, and her intensity. I mean, she's just intense, but gosh, she gets so much done for so many people. And tonight we're going to be talking about health the natural way through the wisdom of Dr. Carolyn Dean, who is the leading guru on natural health and also on using magnesium and minerals and other nutrients to your benefit to reset your body, to restart it, to reposition it, and to realign it into a place of impeccable performance. And I just want to let you know that the more I get exposed to the more things about the more things of everything, I have to tell you, the more confidence I have and the more pure joy I have in working with Dr. Dean, because she has been at this for a long time. And she has not been tricked by fads or any kind of, fly-by-night kind of thing, or goji berries or some kind of crazy superfood. She has been vetted out fully by her wisdom and her own intelligence to know at a cellular level what it takes to run the body. That's her target, and that's where she flourishes, and that's where the body flourishes, because she knows how to give the body the basic building blocks. No hokey, gamey, fatty kind of stuff, just the basics of really good living, good nutrition, and good supplementation. She's got so many different things that she's done in her life. She is a very compelling writer. She's an amazing author. She's written tons of books. I don't know if any of you have sat down to even try to put together a paragraph. Dr. Dean's written thousands and thousands of paragraphs in all of her books, and she makes perfect sense to a lot of people because she uses herself as a lab rat all the time, and I mean all the time. One great thing about Dr. Dean is she actually is a complete and total lifesaver. And I was thinking today, gosh, is there anything more incredible than somebody telling you, you have saved my life? I mean, maybe we throw that phrase around a little bit too much, but honestly, in the case of some people that Dr. Dean's lives have been touched, I think they're serious, and this is a legitimate thing and probably very important to them, because due to their circumstances and their health situation, they were literally on the verge of death. And when you're teetering on the precipice of death and your heart is not operating properly, or your kidneys are shutting down, or you feel like your body is betraying you in some way, it's a very sobering place to be. And a lot of people have to get to that place to make new choices. And when they do, the thing that we hear over and over again is, I was given this ultimatum by my doctor. I didn't want to be on these drugs. I started doing my research, and I looked and I found you, Dr. Dean, and I started your protocol. I started gobbling up all your words of wisdom. I started listening to your radio show. I read your books, and my life has changed, and you have saved my life. To me, ladies and gentlemen, really, that is probably the highest honor that you can give one person to another. Dr. Dean, in all her beautiful, vibrant, violet aura of amazing spiritual giftedness and healing capacities and abilities, sitting over there in her beautiful home in Hawaii, I am sure, willing to spend 2 hours with us this evening and imparting once again her wonderful wisdom. We're thrilled to have the world's leading expert on magnesium, and certainly the world's leading magnesium advocate, with us this evening, not only advocating and educating, but showing the way with her very own formula. She is the most compassionate person I think I know, in her depth of real care for people and her willingness to extend herself beyond even what's reasonable in order to see that people have the choice. And that's what she does, is gives people a choice. She can't make the choice for you, because if she could, the world would be a much... If Carolyn could be making your food choices, the world would be a much different place, people. But she is at least giving you the choice. Here we go now with Dr. Dean. We keep coming back to the same thing, ladies and gentlemen, magnesium and mineral deficiency and yeast overgrowth as the foundation for a lot of health challenges, and vindicated day in and day out, not only through the health reports that we see, the studies that are being done, nutritional studies, health studies, but also the testimonials of our customers who are supporting and underpinning what Dr. Dean has laid out, not only as a thesis, but also as a recommendation for how to bolster your health and how to charge yourself in such a way that you can actually reset your body, reset yourself at a cellular level, and experience yourself and your body in a completely different way. Making cellular health the target, as Dr. Dean so wisely has done, gives you an edge, because it is the eternal, timeless state that our products are accessing and bringing forth aliveness, vitality, and well-being day in and day out, as those cells constantly replenish themselves and are fortified with our formulas. And of course, who is the person who is the harbinger of all this great information, the one who's put it together, the one who stood the test of time? It's incredible. Dr. Dean, she's been there. She's consistent. She's knowledgeable. She's wise. She's done it over and over again. She's done it with her own body, her own friends, her own family, this natural approach to health and wellness, and it's paid off in spades because, number one, first of all, she looks like she's about 19, ladies and gentlemen. And second of all, she's extraordinarily vibrant. And third of all, she's in a place of compassion and wisdom to share it with you. And every time I spend time with her, it just reminds me once again that I want to grow up and be just like Dr. Dean. She is just such an amazing woman. She's generous. She's profoundly intelligent, very wise, very decisive, excellent businesswoman, among other things, bringing her style of common sense and practicality to people. And every single person she touches, she makes a difference for. I watch it interactions all the time. I just want to let you know you're in for an absolute treat to be here with Dr. Dean. I do say that this is one of the best educations you could possibly ever get, and you're getting it from a woman who has absolutely no need to pull the wool over your eyes about how the human body works and what you can expect it to do when you give it the basic building blocks. And of course, I'm talking about our very own Dr. Carolyn Dean. I want to just say something to you, those of you who are in our listenership and podcastship. every week I come on and I talk about what an extraordinary woman Dr. Dean is, and I know from my own experience, and I know because of the testimonials we get about our products, I know from her own personal intervention in my life and the life of people around me how wise she is. And she is a thought leader, ladies and gentlemen, and she's taken a lot of flack in her life for being on the leading edge of creation with her knowledge and her knowingness. And, of course, a lot of you know that she was persecuted in Canada because of her stand against sugar, and now that seems so absurd, right? I mean, granted it was back in the 90s and the early 2000s when nobody was taking a stand like that. Okay, fine. I just want to line this up for you. Last year, Dr. Carolyn Dean made a public health statement in May. She said magnesium deficiency is a public health crisis. A public health crisis. And as a doctor and a person who is aware, and lo and behold, of course, she would be aware, my goodness gracious, because she is all over the globe communicating with people all day, every day about this situation. Here's what is so compelling about it. Not only is it true, but it's an easy solution. Okay, now I want to tell you something else. Later this same year, 2017, there were 3 researchers who are doctors, cardiologists, and cardiovascular researchers, and they wrote a paper, Subclinical Magnesium Deficiency, a Principal Driver of Cardiovascular Disease, and, wait for it, people, a public health crisis. That's right. Public health crisis. This is October 2017. After Dr. Dean had launched her statement and sent those words out into the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been on the radio with this gal for 8 years saying these very words, and she's uniquely qualified to do that because of her long-standing history of being a thought leader and an advocate in the natural health community, and also very involved with the allopathic medical side of things as well, very knowledgeable in the standard of care that's being practiced through allopathic, or as she calls it, allopathetic medicine, and then also natural medicine, and then ranging off into everything you can imagine. She's got her own biodynamic farming thing going on. I mean, she is all over the place doing the best good for the most people. And, of course, she's got her own formulas, which we have a tendency to talk about on the show because they work in extraordinary ways. And so anyway, but I want to tell you this. Dr. Dean is so great, and there's so many little things I could tell you about her, but what I love to say about her, too, is what people say about her. And I was talking to a lady this evening on the phone, and she said to me, Ginny, it's just so amazing to imagine that I'm 80 years old and my life is just beginning. Just beginning, Ginny. That's what Dr. Dean does. That's the stand she makes. That's the person she is. That's what she inspires. That's what she causes and creates. And everywhere she goes, people just fall in line with her way of seeing things because she's that powerful in her conviction and her knowledge. But, of course, Dr. Dean has been helping people with this since 1988. She's got an incredible following of people who are grateful, and I mean grateful, for the things that she does, the information she presents, all of the ways that she is on top of the medical community, on top of the natural health community, on top of government regulations and everything, navigating these seas fiercely. I just see her all of 4'11" inches of herself standing at the mast of a huge boat tossed about in this raging sea, and she's standing there in her purple outfit, completely and totally calm and just knowing exactly what's going on and no concerns whatsoever. We just love her so much. So we say this evening, namaste. It's Dr. Carolyn Dean. The God in me acknowledges the God in you, and the wisdom that she has, the extraordinary wisdom and the compassion to do this every Monday night as she has for years, and to also write her books and give out her information for free so that people have half a chance at stepping outside this large, monolithic, weird, dystopian medical system we have, and our corporate food system, and our processed this and all the rest of it, and actually have half a chance at health. I honor her again this evening. Everybody call in, everybody from around the world, and talk to this wonderful woman and get healed of all that ails you. Welcome to your show, Dr. Dean. Thank you for who you are and all you do.
Ginny, I think you're still muted.